What is good, everybody? It is your boy Super Saiyan Cat back with another skill test for you guys. Today I will be testing the difference between Mystic Flash and Reverse Mabakusenko. Now, I'm not going to go too far in depth like I usually do on like how to use these skills and all things of that nature, because these are moves that are considered to be cheap throughout most of the community. So for that reasoning, I've always kind of stuck up for the community in a sense. For when people consider things to be cheap, I don't use it, and I do make some mentions every now and then in some videos. So I don't want to seem like a hypocrite in a sense, basically showing how to use moves that the community does seem cancerous. I mean, they're not that bad in my opinion. They're not awful, but they are somewhat cheap moves. They're not very hard to use. But again, that's why the reason I'm not going to go too in depth. We're just going to show damage, and I am going to explain like why these moves are considered cheap by most of the community. But now, let's get into it. Alright, first let's test the damage for Mystic Flash. Now, Mystic Flash is a move that, is a turnaround move. So it's usually used when people Z-vanish and things of that nature. So that's why Trunks was behind me like that. And it did 6,300 damage, as you saw. Now, Reverse Mabakusenko, on the other hand, is a counter move that is able to counter anything, whether it be a Ki Blast Super or a Strike Super or just a regular basic attack. It's able to counter anything. And it does 7,241 damage. So it does do more damage than Mystic Flash. But now let's really get into the reasons why people consider these moves to be cheap, and for these reasons is why I'm not going to go too in depth on it, because I'm not going to be that guy that's like a hypocrite in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But these moves, guys, the reason people consider them cheap: one, let's go Mystic Flash first. Mystic Flash, everybody's going to Z-vanish. Everybody is going to Z-vanish at some point in the match. I mean, it just happens. Unless you're fighting someone that is just no good at the game, they have no skill to where you just barely get touched or anything like that, everybody is going to use stamina and Z-vanish in the match. So Mystic Flash, being a counter basically to Z-vanishing, makes it a very easy way to land 6,300 damage. It is so quick to use. It is very easy to use. Now, there are ways to avoid it. Literally sometimes you can Z-vanish once you get hit. If you can use your stamina and Z-vanish and get behind them, you can use your evasive, of course. Or if you do know the move is coming, snap vanish to the side before, like right when you use your stamina and use your Z-vanish. Snap vanish to the side, off to the side, and then you'll be able to stamina break them if they do decide to use it. So there are ways to counter that move. It's not the cancerous of cancer moves in my opinion. It is somewhat annoying at times, but again, it's not like awful. It's not a horrible move. It's not horribly cheap. But again, a lot of people in the community do consider it to be a cheap move. Now, Reverse Mabakusenko, on the other hand, this is a move that has, a lot of people have been upset, and they have given it nerfs to where, at the beginning of the game, you were literally able to use it back to back to back to back to back to back. And if only way your Ki would get drained from like minus 300 for using it is if it landed. So people would literally sit there and spam it. And at that point, it really was a cancerous move in the game. When it was like that, it was very cancerous. But now it's not like that. You get your Ki taken away regardless whether or not it hits or not. And honestly, it's not. I don't remember last time I've gotten hit by it. But the reason people do consider it to be a cheap move is because it is a counter. Now, counters themselves through the community, people have considered cheap. People who spam counters and basically do most of their damage with counters. A lot of people hate fighting people like that and do consider it to be cheap. So for that reason, of course, an ultimate that is a counter that does massive damage, people really aren't going to like that move, because I've seen that move change the course of matches numerous times. And again, I don't remember the last time I've been personally hit by it. But I've seen it change the course of a match numerous times, and for that reason, people do consider it to be a cheap move. Like, anybody can predict a back hit. Anybody can predict certain things that are going to happen when you're going to get attacked. And again, it counters everything. It counters Ki Blast Supers, it counters Strike Supers, it counters Basic. So for those reasons, people do consider Reverse Mabakusenko to be a cheap and somewhat cancerous move. Again, I don't remember last time I've been hit by it. So I don't see it as, one of the worst moves, one of the cheapest moves. I definitely don't see it as an absolute zero or anything like that. But if you do use it in matches, guys, if you do use it on ranked battles and you use it like 2 or 3 times in a match and happen to hit somebody maybe 2 or 3 times, be expecting a message. That's all I'm going to say, is be expecting a message in your inbox. You know, like I said, there are ways to counter these moves. There are ways to not get hit by these moves, but at the same time, for the average player, it is very easy to use these moves against them and be able to predict a back hit, be able to predict a Z vanish and things of that nature. So hope you guys enjoyed this skill test. Again, I apologize that I didn't go too far in depth. Didn't want to seem like that hypocrite that, you know, speaks up for the community in the sense of standing up against cheat moves, but then shows how to use cheat moves and promotes them. So I just wanted to keep this video kind of balanced, kind of neutral, show the damage, but at the same time explain why some people do consider it to be a cheat move. So continue to leave your suggestions down below. Again, the one that gets the most votes, most thumbs up, will be the one that I do next. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, have a good day, guys. Peace.